Alright friends, I trimmed the pages that I printed the kit out on. Just so that you know, I printed it at 70%, which made it the smaller size. I went around all of the edges with this ink. It looks like it should be pink, but it's actually lavender. And I bought it because I thought it was going to be pink. I did not read down here it says lavender. So beware of this particular ink, its stampabilities, but the cover is a little bit deceitful. But I am glad that I can use it. So as mentioned, I cut it, I inked each of the pages and put them together in the order that I want them. So now we're going to make a very simple cover, and I'm going to use this scrapbook paper. It has a linen feel to it, so it's thicker than regular scrapbook paper. So I'm going to use this as the cover. So what we're going to do is we're going to take one of the pieces and we will put it here. And actually I want the cover to be just a little bit bigger than the actual pages. So let's measure right about there. Do a little extra on this side and a little extra on this side. And that's how we will cut it. Oops, did you see that paper shift when I did that? I hate it when that happens. Let's see. Let's start at the top and pull down. There we go. And all should be perfectly fine. Now this is plain on the inside, and I should do something with it before I actually sew the journal together. But let's test the size and make sure that it's going to work the way we want it to. Yep, we are good to go. Perfect. Okay. Now I'll decide what I want to do on the inside. Alright, so Mimi had sent me this. It's a coloring page that she colored in. It's beautiful. I think let's go ahead and use this for one of the covers. So if we're going to do that, I'm going to have to cut it to size. So actually it looks like, let's mark the top and the bottom first, and then we can take the sides off. That looks good. Now let's do the sides. I want her centered, so I'm going to put her on the center of this piece here. Doesn't have to be perfect. This top cut is not perfectly straight, so I'm going to try to fix it. Okay, I scored it, and now I'll use my scissors, because you know how sometimes if you're doing a super small cut on those, it'll sort of jam them up. So hopefully that did the job. See if I need to trim it up anymore. Now actually I think that is gonna work. Make sure this can close without anything being in the way. I think we're good. That looks I think, yeah, no, I think we're good. I think we just glue it down. Before I sew the signature in, I'm going to go ahead and ink all of the edges. I noticed that when I test fit my pages into the journal cover, some of them stick out beyond the journal cover on the edge, not the top or the bottom. Top and bottom are perfectly fine, but just on the edge. So what I'm going to do is I am going to trim the edges of the very center ones. Usually those are the ones that are sticking out. And sometimes in some journals I might not mind that, but I do mind it in this journal. So I'm just taking the littlest amount off, and then this will be ready to sew together. I'm going to do a quick and easy tutorial on how to sew your journal together. This is a one signature journal. If you've never done one, that's what I suggest. I suggest just, practicing with something super easy. Even just a few pages of paper folded in half is something that you can practice on. You're going to do 3 lengths of thread. So you're going to do 3 lengths of your journal size. 1, 2, 3 of your wax thread. 3 lengths will give you plenty to work with and should leave you enough to add some little charms at the bottom once you tie it off. And now you're just going to thread your needle. Trust me when I tell you there are many ways that you can do this. I'm just sharing with you the simple way that I do it. And when you're working with a small journal, it is not complicated. You don't have to make this any more complicated than it needs to be. So you're going to open it up to the center, and then I'm going to pick up my awl and pop a hole right in the center. Now, with something small like this, you don't have to measure. You don't even have to use paper clips to hold your papers in place unless you want to. Now, I put my needle in and I leave it there because it stabilizes everything. I'm popping my second hole in, and now I will pull my needle and thread all the way through and then put them through that second hole that I made. Next, we are going to make a third hole. Once the third hole is in, I will put my needle and thread through that one as well. We're almost done, believe it or not. Now the next thing that you do is you're going to put that needle through the center hole one more time. You're going to pop it up through your pages, and then you want to make sure that you have a piece of your thread on each side of that center strand. Now you will double or triple knot it. I happen to do triple knots. Oh, but before we do that, we need to make sure our thread is tight. So I always flip it over and check the back. If your thread is not tight, your signature won't be tight. So your papers will just be flopping around, and you don't want that. Once I tie my knots, you'll notice I'm going to press down on it with something. I'm going to use one of my clothespins, but you can use whatever you want. I'm going to press down on the knot itself and squish the wax together, and that way it'll help it from not coming untied. And I learned that from somebody many years ago, and I do it every single time. This journal is ready for embellishing. So what I'm going to do with you today is we're just going to put something on the outside. We're going to use this tag that I got from by Mimi with Love. She created this tag and gave it to me in my 2K giveaway. And so I'm going to just embellish it with a piece of this trim here. I'm going to put that over the top. And then I'm actually going to adhere the whole tag to the cover of the journal because I think that's going to look fantastic. So I've decided, actually, we're going to have a 4th video in this series. I was thinking it was going to be 3, but 3 is not enough. We're going to have a 4th. The 4th video is going to show the flip through of this little journal. So I'm going to go ahead and embellish it off camera. And so I'll share that flip through with you. And then I'm going to show you everything that we stuffed in the embellishment box. So that'll be the 4th video, and that should be coming up hopefully in a couple of days. And I'm excited to share it with you. Friends, I really appreciate you spending some time with me. I hope you've enjoyed this series. If you haven't seen the other videos, just click on the playlist that's in my description box because I have it linked there. But the playlist is the Create With Me playlist. It's also got my steampunk series in there as well. I will have the flip through on my flip through playlist, just FYI. Anyways, thank you so much for being with me today. I truly appreciate it. Thanks for watching. See you soon.